Good afternoon. Welcome to Music Man Square's first virtual concert in the Footbridge series. I'm Ann Beasley. I'm a board member here, and we are in for a treat today. I am going to welcome an incredible pianist, Dr. Richard Steinbach. He has been all over the world playing piano, 20 countries in Europe, and Carnegie Hall as well. He is actually in Iowa. He's from Sioux City, where he teaches at Briarcliff College. And we are just so happy to have him here at Music Man Square. He's had a lot of fun looking around the square and getting to see all of the artifacts of the Music Man that are here. In addition, we have a new piano that we are showcasing for the first time today. I'm sure Richard will give it a good warm-up. And I just want to thank all of you for tuning in. We are excited to welcome Dr. Steinbach here, and we'd like to give him a warm Mason City welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ann. It is an extreme pleasure for me to be here this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone here associated with the Music Man Square and this new Footbridge concert series. I'm thrilled to be a part of this. I'm also thrilled to actually be able to do the christening of this beautiful instrument. It's brand new, no scratches at all, and it really is quite a wonderful instrument. So thank you to Nick for all of his help, and also Dr. Gary McKircher, who's a good friend of mine who initiated my coming here for this concert series. There could not be a better space to create music than Music Man Square. I have never been here, but I am standing in a replica, the exact replica of the Hollywood set for the movie musical, The Music Man, of the famous Meredith Willson. If you don't know, his house is right next door, and it is an extraordinary place. If you have not been here, I would encourage you to take it in sometime. Mason City, Iowa, right here in River City. So here we are. I put together a rather eclectic program for you today with composers from all over the world. And the unifying force is fusion. So composers, by the way, who all of the composers on today's program are living, except for one. There's one classical piece, the Warsaw concerto, that I'd like to play. Otherwise, they're all current living writers. And all of these composers, they're tied together because they infuse their music with folk music or popular music or jazz. So, to start out, we're going to start with the folk music genre. And I'd like to play a very well-known folk song, The Water is Wide, and this is an arrangement of American composer Howard Helvey. And coincidentally, Howard and I toured together as duo pianists for years and years. So he is a concert pianist and a very fine writer, as you will soon hear. So this is The Water is Wide by Howard Helvey. So that was an arrangement of the folk song, The Water is Wide, by American composer Howard Helby. I'm going to stay in the genre of folk music and play another folk song arrangement. This time it is the very well-known tune, Simple Gifts. It's a tune that is very, very well-known and has been used in all kinds of different compositions and settings. And I thought it would be nice to include this on today's program. We're in a world of chaos and stress right now with the pandemic and so forth. And I think we're all kind of longing for a more simple, calmer time. So this is Simple Gifts, and it's arranged by the American composer Joseph Martin. Pardon me, I'm going to take a little break here. So that was a arrangement of Simple Gifts by the American composer Joseph Martin. Very beautiful tune. It's actually one of my favorite arrangements of that tune. Next on the program, we're going to move into the realm of classical jazz fusion. There's a set of pieces that I recorded on my last solo album, which actually I titled Fusion. And some of the featured pieces were a group of works by American jazz icon Chick Corea. You may know that name. He has done everything there is to do in the jazz world, but he also has crossed over to the classical world and just an amazing, amazing force in the music world. So in this instance, Chick Corea is kind of stepping away from the world of jazz and improvisation and putting pen to paper and composing in the classical style. So most of the notes you will hear were written out in the classical tradition, note for note. But there are moments also when I will go off book and go into a free improvisation, which is of course the core of jazz music. He called, there's 20 pieces total, and I'm going to play 5 of them. He called them children's songs. So he is following a tradition with classical composers to write pieces that are reflections of childhood. So they're not pieces that are really meant to be played by children. They're a little difficult for children, but they're pieces about childhood. We go back to Robert Schumann in the Romantic period writing his children's scenes, and up through Debussy writing the Children's Corner. And now we have Mr. Jazz, Chick Corea, writing children's songs. So I hope you'll enjoy these 5 children's songs by Chick Corea. Those were 5 pieces by the American jazz icon Chick Corea, 5 children's songs. A lot of different character, a lot of different sounds, and you can see that he's kind of having fun with some of those idioms. All right, next on the program, we're going to move to the island of Cuba. I guess it's been 2 years, I had the opportunity to perform a couple of concerts in Havana, Cuba, and needless to say, it was a fascinating experience, the music, the culture. And on those programs, I featured the music of a very prominent Cuban composer, Jorge Lopez Marin. So again, he sort of incorporates some of the sounds of Cuba, the Cuban jazz. And in this next piece, the fusion element comes in between poetry and music. The composer's mother, Thelvia Marin, was a very famous painter and poet in Havana. And the son is taking his mother's poetry and setting it into an instrumental setting. The poem is titled La Voz del Silencio, a voice in silence. And I'd like to read you Thelvia's poem and then play Jorge's piece for you. A voice in silence. Silence folded in softness, yearning. My secrets are being caressed by a silent, babbling brook, like melodies that were not yet written, with dreams and premonitions, and the music of a smiling arpeggio, seemingly smiling, shyly, for the sadness that lies beyond. They prolong the silence. It is a mystery of the earth that opens so that out of its virgin purity, life itself attaches to the seed, silent, still. Musings bridge the space between reflections that are left in the woods as they playfully shine in the light of elusive beacons. It is all or nothing in silence. That was The Voice of Silence, La Voz de Silencio, by Cuban composer Jorge Lopez Marin. Again, we're coming to you live from Music Man Square, in River City, Iowa, Mason City. I'm so pleased to be here. So pleased to be playing this beautiful instrument in its inaugural concert. So thank you for joining us. Next on the program, we're going to move into the genre of film music. So fusion of film and music, which is of course a huge industry. This is actually from the soundtrack of a 1940s film called Dangerous Moonlight, if you've ever heard of that. And it was, of course, a World War II film, and the lead character was a concert pianist in Poland who extradited to the US when the war started. And this is the piece that he played. It's called the Warsaw Concerto. It's one of the classics of the music world. And of course, a concerto is written for solo instruments, in this case solo piano, and full orchestra. I have had the pleasure of performing this several times with orchestra. In fact, with the Sioux City Symphony Orchestra with Ryan Haskins, conductor. It was great fun. Today I'm doing a solo piano version. I'm kind of doing my own solo version of the concerto and adapted it in my own way, so to speak. It's a little bit more complicated to involve both the orchestra parts and the solo part, but it is really a beautiful work. I think you'll probably recognize some of the tunes. This is the largest piece on the program, so it's about 10 minutes long, but I hope you will enjoy. This is the Warsaw Concerto. Oh, and by the way, it was composed by British composer Richard Addinsell. Just a quick side story before I play it. The movie creators actually tried to requisition Rachmaninoff, the Russian composer Sergei Rachmaninoff, to compose this concerto, and he was not able to do that. So they brought in Richard Addinsell, a British writer, and it's written, you will hear, very much in that big Russian style of Rachmaninoff. So this is the Warsaw Concerto by Richard Addinsell, in my own version. was the Warsaw Concerto by Richard Adensell, again from getting into the realm of film music for the 1940s film, Dangerous Moonlight. And I'm going to go now take a nap and come back. No, seriously, I'm going to stay with you. It is a big piece. I hope the instrument is still doing well, but you can hear the tremendous sound of this instrument. So you're very blessed here at Music Man Square to have such a fine instrument. And again, this is the first season of the Footbridge Concert Series. I'm so pleased to be part of this and to be in this incredible place, honoring Meredith Wilson and the Music Man. If you're like me, the musical The Music Man was certainly a part of my growing up. In fact, the very first time I was on stage for musical theater was being one of the little boys playing in the band in The Music Man. So it's great to be here, and we will continue and sort of, I'm going to grab some water, wrap things up this afternoon with 4 short pieces by Brazilian composers. So we're moving south to Brazil. Back in 2013, I had the opportunity to go to Brazil on sabbatical from my university. Again, I'm a music professor and chair of the music department at Briarcliff University in Sioux City. It's been my home for many, many years. But I was on leave and I spent a whole term in Brazil, going all over the country, playing concerts of new music, new American music, and working with students in master classes. And again, it was an incredible opportunity for me. But one of my goals, and one of the things I did in Brazil, was to meet as many composers as I possibly could and gather some new music, sort of the cutting edge stuff that was happening in Brazil that perhaps was not really known here. So I'm going to play 4 pieces, short pieces by Brazilian composers. We start with Dimitri Chervo down in southern Brazil, Porto Alegre. And he wrote, to stay with the previous piece, he wrote a series of short works called film music. In this case, they were not composed specifically for film, but they're written in the style of film music. And it's just some of the most beautiful writing that I've ever encountered. So, Dimitri Chervo and his film music. Then we move to northern Brazil with Edmundo Villani Cortes, one of his beautiful preludes, sort of a very, the dark, melancholy Brazilian sound, so to speak. Then we step it up a little bit for a wonderful composer I met in Rio de Janeiro, Claudio Dausberg. Claudio is an amazing artist, both in the jazz world and the classical world. And he shared with me this toccata that's he arranged based on a very famous Brazilian jazz tune, Raoni. And he gave me his handwritten manuscript copy of this piece. So it's very difficult, but it's been great fun to play. And then finally to Sao Paulo with Ronaldo Miranda, a very famous composer in Sao Paulo. And this is one of his scherzos from his piano suite. So these are 4 short Brazilian pieces. I hope you'll enjoy. That was 4 Brazilian pieces brought to you live from Music Brand Square. I'm Richard Steinbach, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Thank you for joining in for this concert of fusion music. Please, I wish you all the very best. Take good care and stay safe. Good afternoon.